it's time once again to get reviewing some more Necron Forgeworld models. Hello, welcome back to the channel. Pressing on with our Forgeworld Necron units, we're going to be looking at the Canoptek Acanthrites. We're going to be doing their review, checking out their synergy, and then at the end of the video, we'll be giving them a Planet 40k rating. So let's get the bookkeeping dealt with. Let's get our shout out of the day done, which is going to Hans Johansson for his comment relating to the Gorse Pylon. So shout out to you. And if you want a chance of getting a shout out in the next Necron video, all you have to do is simply comment down below anything you want. It could be relating to the video. Doesn't even have to be related to the video. Anything you really want, anything you want to comment, put it down below, and the best one will be shouted out in the next video. Okay, so let's begin with the review today with the Canoptek Acanthrites. And as always guys, all these Forgeworld models are not actually in the Necron Codex. They're in the Imperial Armor Compendium book, so if you are struggling to find their data sheets, that will be why. So let's get on with the video today then. The Canoptek Acanthrites. They're from the fast attack options. They're coming in at 40 points per model or a power level of 6. As for the keywords of note, they are beasts, so very similar to our Canoptek race as you'll see throughout the video. They've also got the Canoptek keyword and they can fly. Onto the datasheet, they can go into units of up to 6, a min unit is 3 of them, so 3 to 6, again same as the wraiths. Movement of 12 inches, weapon skill 4+, ballistic skill 4+, strength 5, toughness 5, wounds 3, attacks 2, leadership 10 and a 3+ save. So an extra point in strength over the Canoptek wraiths, but 2 attacks less per head. As for the abilities, all the standard stuff here: live in metal to regain a lost wound at the start of the turn, command protocols if they're within close proximity of a character and you've got a noble on the table, to be choosing a directive in each and every battle round, to be potentially buffing the units. Then you've got reanimation protocols. I'm sure you all know what this is by now. After an enemy's unit has attacked your unit, for every dead model you get to roll the dice equivalent to the amount of wounds they have, which in this case would be 3. You need to have a 5+ roll on all 3 dice just to get one back up again. So not that great of an ability on multi-wound models, especially with 3 wounds. Quite difficult to get them all back up again. Unless you've got a max unit and you lose quite a lot of them, you do have a chance of getting 1, maybe 2 back up, but I wouldn't count on it. They then got a unique ability called Shadowed Wings. So each time a ranged attack is made against the unit, you're subtracting 1 from the attacker's hit roll. So a very simple -1 to hit penalty if they're targeted at range. As for the war gear, they're all equipped with a cutting beam and a void blade. So the cutting beam, 12-inch range, assault 1, strength 8, -4 AP and the damage is D6, or it becomes D6 plus 2 if you're within half range, which in this case would be 6 inches, but of course if you're using dynasty buffs such as the Mefrit dynasty or Healthy Paranoia, then the half range is going to increase by 2 inches. Now this is effectively a melter gun weapon. It's exactly the same profile as the Space Marine melter guns. As for their melee option, they've got a void blade, which is strength user, making it strength 5, -3 AP and the damage is 1, and you get an additional attack with the weapon, giving your guys 3 attacks per model. Now again, if you're comparing this to a Space Marine weapon, it's effectively a power sword. Again, the exact same stats. So they're carrying a melter gun and a power sword, so kitted out for both combat and melee. As for some stratagems that you could use, there's only actually one here, which is Enslaved Protectors. Because they've got the Canoptek keyword, they can effectively heroically intervene as if they were a character. As for some synergy, you've got the Technomancer. He's got either of the 2 options from his war gear, which is the Canoptek Cloak. So he can keep up with the Canoptek Acanthrites because he gets a 10-inch movement and fly, and he can also be healing a model D3 lost wound each and every battle round. Now I'm not sure if that's actually the best thing because they've got living metal anyway, so they'd have to be down to 1 wound remaining for this to be of any use. Instead he could set the option of the control node, which he doesn't have the movement of 10 anymore, but any units within 6 inches that are Canoptek could +1 to the attacker's hit roll, so they'll be hitting on 3s instead of 4s. If you're looking into the Arcana, he's got the Phylacterian Hive, which can be used on a Canoptek unit to bring one back by using his Rites of Reanimation ability, or you can use the Failsafe Overcharger to be giving every model in the unit an extra attack. If you wanted to get an invuln save on these guys, you can use the Chronomancer with the Chronometron ability, which gives them 5+ invulnerable save and also allows them to reroll the charge rolls. So if you want them more of a melee based unit, you could be using them that way. If you want them more of a shooting unit, you could use the Triarch Stalker with a targeting relay, fire first with the Stalker, and then from that point onwards, any Necron unit that's attacking the unit you've targeted at range, then they get to reroll hit rolls of a 1. Moving away from the unit synergy, we do have the dynasty synergy to talk about. So if you were to use the Mefrit dynasty, for example, you're going to +3 to the range as mentioned earlier in the weapon section, so that will make a 15-inch melter, which means if you're firing within 8 inches, you're going to get D6 plus 2 damage. And it will go to a -5 AP weapon as well. If you're going within the Hilak code, they gain objective secured, not too bad. Or if you're choosing the Novak code, if you want to go more melee with these guys, you're going to get +1 to the charge rolls. And in the first round of combat, you're going to get an additional -1 AP to the weapon, making that Void Blade a -4 AP weapon. If you're going with the Zerakan Dynasty, ignoring mortal wounds on a 5+ could be really useful, especially now that we've got the Grey Knights and the Thousand Suns Codex being released. And also they get to reroll a single wound roll to shoot or to fight, and as they do both, that's pretty much 2 rerolls for the unit every turn. And when you've got a Melter weapon or a Power Sword, that's not too bad. If you're looking into the custom codes, all the obvious options, Eternal Conquerors, Unyielding, Superior Artisans, but Rad Reeve could be a real hit because you're going to be getting in close proximity anyway, very likely to be charging with the unit because of those Void Blades. So in particular, if those units are toughness 5, you could be knocking them down to toughness 4, which means those Void Blades are going to be wounded on 3s. And then you got the Canoptek option, which is the Ancient Stir to +1 to the move characteristics of Canoptek units, as well as +1 to the piling and consolidation move as well. So that's all the synergy dealt with. Let's get on to the summary today. Starting with the good, they're quick with their movement at 12 inches, as well as the fly keyword. Not quite as good as Wraith form, obviously, because they're not going through models, but with fly, it's virtually the same thing, isn't it? They're carrying melter guns as well as power swords, which makes them very multifunctional. They're good at range, they're good in melee. They're going to be doing damage in 2 different phases there, which is pretty key. Their Shadowed Wings ability is also pretty good, a -1 to hit, quite like the Ophidian Destroyers there. That one's at range. It's going to help them from getting shot off the board before they've actually made it into short range or into combat. Then finally, the synergy with the Technomancer and the Chronomancer could be an extra added bonus. As for the bad, there's no invuln saves. Again, mentioning the Canoptek Wraiths, they've got their Wraith form, so they've got 4+ invulnerable save. These guys do not have an invulnerable save whatsoever, unless you're buffing them with the Chronomancer. Now they're hitting on 4s again like the Wraiths because of the Canoptek keyword. With only 2 attack space and then 1 extra one for the Void Blade, you have to start to question the actual reliability of those Void Blades. So they're actually 5 points ahead more pricier than the Canoptek Wraiths, with 2 attack space less than those as well. Obviously they get 1 for that Void Blade in addition, but it's still less than what a Canoptek Wraith can actually do. Those Canoptek Wraiths have also got the Vicious Claws, which are strength 6 and 2 damage, which are just better as well. So really the question is, are Canoptek Wraiths just superior to these models? And I'd probably say yes. So on to the rating today. For that last bullet point in particular, with the Canoptek Wraiths being just better than them, I can't go too high with these because I can't really see the need. The only added bonus they've really got is the range ability with those cutting beams, those effectively the smelter guns. I'm going to go with a bang average 3-star rating. That's not to say they're a bad unit, because they're not a bad unit. As already mentioned, they can shoot, they can also fight. I'm not going to question their resiliency. Yes, they've got the Shadowed Wings ability for a -1 to hit them, but so do the Ophidian Destroyers and their Glass Hammer too. They go down very quickly. So not the most resilient unit in my opinion. So guys, that's the end of the video today. Remember to like the video, drop a sub if you are new. Also put a comment down below what star rating you'd give the unit and why. And remember, the best comment will be shouted out in the next Necron video. Thank you all for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.